Welcome back, fellow card fighters. Today is another beautiful day of doing deck profiles. I feel like I've been procrastinating too long, so it's about time we do some Luard deck profile. Without further ado, let's get started. For our right line, we run, of course, the Root, then Knees, LFL, and Luard as our right line deck in the crest. And our stride line is generic. Obviously, 4 drag striders and 4 drag driver Luard. And now in terms of our grade 3s, we run 2 copies of Luard and then 2 copies of Solemn Clout Dragon. And that is it. For our grade 2 lineup, we run 4 copies of Morfessa and 2 copies of Maple. For our grade 1 lineup, we run 1 Elementaria, 3 of the Esras, 4 copies of Painkiller Angel, 4 copies of Preservation Angel, 4 copies of Samius, and then 4 copies of Abyssal Owl, 2 copies of Luminosity Wizard, and then 2 copies of Paris. We'll go over the cards later in a minute here. In terms of a trigger lineup, we run 1 copy of Red OT, 3 copies of the Draw, 8 copies of Crit, 1 copy of the Grade Skill Heal Trigger, 1 copy of Restending or Double Attacking Unit Heal, and 2 generic heals. Alright, so now we'll go over the card choice explanation. Well, you need 2 copies of Luard just so you can do couple shenanigans, aka the Drag Strider Luard. The Drag Strider Luard has a Luard specific name on it, so you do have to pitch Luard in order to get the guard restrict, also the extra drive, and whatnot. So that's why he's needed. The Solemn Clout Dragon is there because he's a big number. He's a big hitter. Ritual 3, GB2, I believe it's GB2. Yeah, GB2. He gains 10k while during your turn when you attack. And then when you discard this card for stride cost, you draw a card. So when you go to grade 3 first turn, you're not going to have the ritual ability proc off of his Luard's first skill. So you would have to discard a card from my hand to stride. So your ideal target will be this guy, so you get an extra draw out of it. Now the grade 2 we're talking about. Morfessa is pretty self-explanatory. She's a 15k attacker when she hit Ritual 3, and in the drop zone she's counted as a grade 1. And also when she attacks, if you have 2 cards in the face up in the G zone, so GB3 technically, GB2 if you're not on stride, you counterblast and you search up to 1 card with the ritual ability, a different name from this unit, and you call it out. So it makes you a multi-attack turn. Maple is there because it's a free card. When you ride into a grade 3, beginning of your right phase and stride phase, they occur at the same time. When your grade 3 Grade of Anger is placed on the right phase, if you do not have another unit with Maple in his name, you can call it to the rear guard. So you would have no rear guards, call right into Luard, comes out when you stride, you can counterblast to divide this into 2 units of grade 1 with Luard skill. So you granted you could do it with the LFL too, but Maple is free because you don't have to discard. So that's why Maple's in there. Alright, let's talk about the long list of grade 1. PGs and Elementaria are pretty self-explanatory. Elementaria is there because of like mirror matches or any other stride decks. Grade 1 of the Preservation Angel is there because 1, it's a ritual skill. 2, it gains intercept and gains a 5,000 shield once you hit Ritual 3. It's not GB restricted. Angel is there so you can Soul Blast the grade 1 and grade 2 in the right line in your soul as soon as possible, and at the same time draw a card out of it, so you benefit both ways. You get to rush Ritual 3 because it retires itself also. Was it Samius? Samius is there because of her skill of Ritual 3. When you place her, she gains 2k, so it's a 10k beat stick or supporting unit. And also, I believe it's GB1 skill. Yeah, GB1. When this unit is placed on the rear guard other than the battle phase, if I have a Luard in his card name, I get to look at top 2 of the cards, choose one of them, and call it to the rear guard. And at the put the rest of them bottom of the deck in any order. And if I call the card at the end of the turn, I have to retire that unit. So usually you'll call her, use her skill to call another target out, attack with it, then with the Drag Driver Luard Stride, I believe, yes, this one. You can, or Drag Strider, you can get rid of that unit because it's gonna die anyways, so it's a free, attacking unit and speeds up Ritual faster. Abyssal Owl is there so you can search Luard into your hand faster, or at the end of the turn you bind it 2 copies to counter charge 1, because the Luard deck is very counterblast heavy. And then you're going to be wondering about these 2 cards. Luminosity Wizard is there as a column attacker. Ritual 3 GB1, if this was placed on the rear guard during this turn, this gains 10,000, so it's an 18k unit. And when this unit is retired from the rear guard during your turn, if you have a Dragheart Luard Crest, which you will always do, you get to Soul Charge 1 and then choose one of your Vanguards and give it 5k. So it becomes an 18k unit. Once it's retired, you Soul Charge to do other shenanigans, and at the same time you give your Vanguard 5k. So that 5k eventually adds up, especially during the Drag Strider Luard turn. Now you might be wondering about this card. This is the Paris. Paris is there because of there's so many decks right now that does 5 attacks or more. So I call it the pseudo PG. While this is on the board, if you bind this unit, if your Vanguard is being attacked and it's the 5th battle or more of this turn, you can bind it and choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of that battle. So bind, so it's not a guard restrict from hand, so you can bind it and then it's like a PG. So having one on board at all times is kind of nifty, honestly. It's kind of useful. Alright, choice of triggers. Draws are there because, there's sometimes you need the key pieces to get as soon as possible to do some combos. Kind of nice. Red OT is there because your Keter is not really useful. Having a rear guard that attacks twice with 1 million plus in this deck right now is so much better because you can use Morphesa's skill twice because it's not once per turn. Correct me if I am wrong. Yep, Morphesa's skill is not once per turn. So you can attack with Morphesa, bring a unit out, attack with it, and then resend it because of OT skill, attack with this unit, and attack with Morphesa, and then bring out another unit. So it's a nice little combos you can do here and there. Imagination is the key. 8 crits because crit life is important, and being guard restricted units on this deck, having guard restricted units in this deck helps with getting a lot of crits. And then you might be wondering about this heal triggers. So this is there because there's so many like Shirinuis and other decks that has resending rear guards, so it's for that. And this is in case of mirror matches or against any other stride deck matchups, especially Luard. Because let's be honest, guys, every deck you're going to see nowadays in competitive scene is going to be Shiranui, Luard, or some kind of stride deck formation. So it's kind of useful to have one of. Well, that's about it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like, comment below what deck you're most fearful of or what deck you'll be using for the upcoming regionals. And I guess we'll talk about it there. Until then, see you guys next time. Peace.